Kingdom OutKasts Podcast is a platform for us to simply express our thoughts, opinions, and experiences concerning our faith and events around the world. We're here for your entertainment, encouragement, and edification of the body. We're humans like yourself and are not the final authority of views expressed. Only the Most High Yah is. Feel free to agree, disagree, edify, question, and comment however you're led to in the comments. We are many members of one body under Messiah and look forward to communing as a family with mutual respect. Shalom and enjoy the pod. Kingdom OutKasts.
Welcome to Kingdom OutKasts Podcast. This is our episode 16, and we are your hosts. My name is Deja.
Eliyahu.
Mashak. Brandon Mashak.
And we welcome you.
All right.
So, how was everyone's week? I missed you guys greatly. I think the last time we recorded was about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's all podcast fluff. She doesn't miss us.
I
She specifically requested these breaks.
I did request the breaks. However, I smile when you guys come walking through that door, and I know it's time to film again.
Yes. Well, we miss you too, Deja. We miss you too. So great to see your
Bound
The
chicka
curls-
wow wow.
We're out today.
are curling. The curls are curling.
Apparently, everybody, all the guys need to keep short hair while the girls can have their hair out, right?
I never said such. I never said such.
Because look at us guys, man. We getting the Negro naps.
The Negro naps, and then I still wear my do-rag, but I've been picking it out a little, slowly but surely. I'm getting some hang time.
Okay.
But I've decided to just grow my hair out because I'm tired of getting those fades, and I know it's gonna get expensive. I got some clippers, so eventually I'm gonna just start cutting my own hair. You know, just trying to
Lineups only.
lineups only. Yeah.
He's going.
I do like the fade in the back. You know, maybe sometimes fade on the side if I'm feeling special.
He's going for that Kohen priestly look, you know, the rags and preaching in the street and putting the dust on the head.
Yes.
And
They won't recognize him. They just will not recognize him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Living up to the name.
Yeah. I can't describe the feeling. I'm just feeling really more in tune with nature after celebrating Feast of Tabernacles, which we did. It was really just amazing to be out there not in the wilderness, but in nature, and fellowshipping with the church family, and really getting into understanding holy days more so was really a blessing. And really all praises be to Yahweh for bringing us continuously out of the land of our captivities, and we know it's going to come again, but it's so important that we do celebrate the holy days, whether you are there's no weather. If you believe in the Bible, you need to be celebrating the holy days, because that's how we are covered by the Most High. That's one way. Of course, the ultimate covering is the Messiah, Jesus Christ. But when you look at the Old Testament, which is so often glanced over, and really the first 5 books, you realize how important it is and how the Most High set apart just a way of life for His people. So if I get edited or whatever, it is what it is. But or just my words get taken out of context. But it's important to. But the law was not done away with. It was not done away with.
Period.
I would never edit you, by the way.
Well, other people watching, they're like, oh.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, right.
I know I'm safe here, but the people on the internet. But outside of that, my weeks have been really good. Just I'm getting back into I basically just realizing what non-negotiables I have in my life and in my daily routines. So getting up early, working out, doing 3 workouts in the morning besides going to the gym. So I got a pull-up bar, because you never know when you're gonna need to pull yourself up, whether I'm just falling or something. You never know.
Oof. I can't do pull-ups.
These things, curls and push-ups. Push-ups aren't really necessity. So I think I'm gonna start doing more ab work. But yeah, I've been doing that, and then running, of course. Which has been terrible, but
Brubron.
it is what it is.
Brubron.
Running has been terrible.
It has been. It's just I'm tired of running, but 2 more weeks until the marathon. So once that's over, I'll just probably get back to a lower pace of running.
I thought it was so are you doing a marathon at the end of this month?
Yeah, the marathon. So
Elijah did invite me to do the half.
I mean,
with
the
him.
calves are looking pretty vascular right now, man.
Thanks.
Look at the veins.
I do see the vein.
It's I don't know. I think I have low body fat maybe. That's why it's showing. That's why I'm so vascular. I just have low body fat.
I told him there was very, very slim likelihood that I could do a half marathon by the end of this month.
Yeah.
Because of my hair.
The hair, yes. But the hair's, it's runnable now.
Because I'm getting it done in 2 days, which is why it's an afro now.
Dang. Well, Deja did commit to doing a race before the end of the year. So
yes, I did. A half marathon.
We'll be holding her to it. Half marathon. We'll do a 5K. I don't care. Just to I need to build up my team for the community runners. For when the time comes. We have to run from town to town.
Just can't wait for that day.
Yeah. All right.
Hear that? Build the lungs out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot.
So how you guys been? What's been up in your world, Deja?
I have been doing very well. I totally missed out. I had the worst FOMO watching you guys off at Tabernacles on the camping trip. I just wanted to know what happened. I had to call Kaseyu. I asked Brandon at least twice. I asked you guys in the group chat. I just had FOMO. I was like, so what happened? Who was there? What did you guys talk about?
Yeah.
Who led the teaching? Who did this? I heard Brandon was kind of quiet during Tabernacles.
Who's reporting things about me?
Were you being quiet?
He was quiet.
No?
No, man.
Who said that?
I said Brandon doesn't want to lead the teachings and stuff. That's not where he's at right now.
The thing is,
Yeah.
I don't want to. Let me be real, right? I think Carol is definitely way more versed in and feast days and studying those. I mean, when it comes to me, I'm a connoisseur for a lot of knowledge and information. So I like to read a lot, where he's somebody who really sticks to a subject and digs deep into it. So I feel like, you just let the Ruach lead, whoever should kind of lead things. And,
Makes sense.
man, I know I talk a lot, but I only talk a good amount when I know I'm knowledgeable on something. You know what I mean? I take the back seat.
So I'm saying
lot of
when
times.
you are observed as not talking as much, it's noticeable because you normally are very outspoken.
Well, it shouldn't be a big thing.
It's not a big thing at all.
It shouldn't be a big thing. But
I know you did give a lot of insightful comments during the teaching, so it was overall.
I gave more apocryphal insight.
Yeah,
Things
yeah.
that happened pre-flood, how kind of these feast days and stuff kind of was going on even before pre-flood, or how a lot of these concepts became into being even before Israel was established. And so I gave more apocryphal, a little bit, more, and some 66, insight. But yeah, man, I was just really there to enjoy, to be honest, and I came there to give and get something too,
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So the wildest thing sort of happened this week. We all know.
Whoa, yeah, I didn't really get into my week like that yet.
I know you didn't. This was the last thing as related to my week.
Oh, this is about your week. Oh, I'm thinking you're going to the topic already. Okay, my bad.
So this
I
is
didn't
just,
think it was going that way.
but it still relates to our topic a little bit. But this is about my week kind of.
Oh, okay.
So I was planning
Stay tuned.
I was planning to visit Israel in January because one of my close girlfriends had been sent out there on a work assignment. So she'd been living there for the last 6 months. And we were talking about my trip there and where we would visit. She has visited a lot of nearby places. She's been in Dubai. And over the weekend when the bombing occurred, she was in Cyprus. So her company flew her straight back to the U.S. from Cyprus. She left everything in her apartment, left everything behind, and brought her home immediately. And so we were all
here
super.
now.
Yeah, she's literally here now, back in her place,
Wow.
as if she never left. And so we were super excited to see her, but we're like, oh my goodness, are you okay? Were you scared? Because the whole time she's been there, every other week when I call her, I'm like, have you seen this on the news? They're saying this is happening, that's happening. She's like, no, I don't see anything like that. Everywhere I go, it's peaceful. I'm out eating every weekend. I'm socializing. I travel to different countries. This is the most peaceful place I've ever been. And then this happens, and she's like, yeah, I just did not see that coming. So
Yeah, that's interesting. That is.
So she's back, but I had full plans on being there in like the next 3-4 months. Like I was about to see it all. I was taking the full week off of work. I was going to stay for like 10 or 12 days.
Yeah, it's not happening anymore.
It's not happening. Yeah. No. But yeah, that's all. That's how my week was.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I got a lot to say.
Yeah. For one, that kind of just speaks to the fact on how, you take everything you see on the news with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because, America, what people see in other countries is very different from what we see on American news. But my week has been good. I'll say I'm going through a little bit of challenges with my business. I have 2 locations. I train at, Madhouse and then out of my neighborhood gym with this new manager. Mm-hmm. I think it's a typical classic, women moves up in the I've seen where they have started to replace a lot of the men, women in my management over time. Mm-hmm. And we have this new manager now. She's trying to assert some type of dominance. Oh, you shouldn't be training people here and stuff like that. So, but some of the other people in the building are caping for me and gave me some information to talk to the overhead. So I'm just kind of working with that. But I went up in our office and I looked her in the eyes like, you have an issue. You have an issue, don't you? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, but so dealing with that, man. But other than that, week has been great, man. The feast day was great. Going out to Alabama, Leesburg, Alabama. Getting told, you look like you guys could be in a singer's entertainment group.
Oh yeah.
You guys are musicians. Not scientists, not doctors, not preachers.
Did not know the half. Like whoever said that to y'all, he just did not know the half. He just had no idea who he was like talking, referring to.
It just is what it is. Like honestly, it's funny. Yeah. Like because that's just you get how they think and it's funny.
They look at us like characters or something, like cartoons.
It was just funny though. It was just funny. It is what it is because the black people there aren't really like standing like that. You know what I mean? So but we a different kind of.
Yeah.
But very different.
But so
he smelled the Atlanta on us. He was like.
He never seen
music.
He never seen no guys wear turbans, stuff like that.
Facts,
probably
facts.
That are from this country, like
right. Man. So, but that was great. We saw like a low key meteor shower out there. So many stars, man. It was beautiful. Brought my dog out there. He was good for the most part.
Where did the dog sleep? I just have to know.
He slept in the tent. What?
The tent was very well ventilated.
What?
Brandon actually got a gosh dang, what is it?
6-person tent?
No. Well,
leashes?
It's his home, but it's not his home. It's your tent. But no. I was gonna say Brandon had a gosh dang, what is the word? A heating pad, basically, because his dog was over there keeping him warm, and I'm over here shivering on the other side. Like
no one's cuddling.
I need a dog.
Nobody's cuddling. Nobody's cuddling.
With the pup.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I be wanting my dog off of me sometimes when I'm sleeping because I move around a lot and he's gotten heavy. You know what I mean? Even his head is just like sometimes, but he
body heat, though.
He wants to be.
I'm just imagining you being like, okay, like lay down.
That was like chill, like
stop,
stay,
sit down,
stay. Stop going over to try to lick Harold and all that. Man. But. Nah, it was great, man. We had some nice vineyard wine, very pure and potent. Oh my gosh, breakfast was great after that. Mm-hmm.
Chai went in on the food too. It was so great.
Oh man, the food was great, man. Yeah. So Feast of Tabernacles was great. The word was great. Blowing the fire was great. The bonfires was great. The singing around the bonfires was great. Everything was great. The talking was great. And just the communion us as young folk was having with seniors, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, man, you don't see that, a lot of our people our age just hang around older people, you know what I mean? And have real lengthy conversations like that, you know? And it reminds me of being with my grandparents, when they was here. So, but yeah, my week has been cool. Other than that, work has been work. And yeah, man, blessed,
Yeah, Feast of Tabernacles is like, after celebrating, I was like just being on a spiritual high, honestly. Got some new music too, some new Hebrew worship music. Oh, I tell you, my issue, it's not an issue, but like, I only keep songs on repeat. Like
the same ones.
The same ones. I listen to them like over and over, and it's just been really a blessing. But I want to make a comment here real quick. Oh, so we're starting this new segment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have an idea.
I just want to mention it really quickly before we get too deep into our precept in Hebrew word.
So our new segment, I want to call it like a TED Talk, something like that. But
yeah, we're gonna cover a better name.
Let's put a topic out there, maybe even an open-ended question, and then we're gonna ask a few people in our life, friends of ours, to send us a response. And so we'll play 3 or 4 responses.
Guys, email us.
Yeah, email us. So we want to know, like, what would you like to hear about? What would you like to respond in regards to? What topics are you interested in?
Question, scenario.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something where we just reply, giving our views, during this podcast.
Yeah, we want to be, like, more interactive.
Yeah, for sure. Interactive.
That's what I said. Oh, I said interactive?
Yeah, interactive, yes. Word of the day for Deja, interactive.
Just love you, Brandon.
Engagement.
Precepts. Okay, so I'm doing a precept today. I'm coming from Paleo Yamayaha, or current Hebrew Yirmiyahu, or in English Jeremiah. Wait a minute. I need to find this chapter. My bad. Let me see. Let me see, because I have it screenshot, but I need to, let me see. Behold the day. Oops. One moment. And Jeremiah.
One other thing while I was looking this up on my week. I have been impersonated. So if you have someone reach out to you about Cash App, and I don't need no money, okay? Don't Cash App that Negro. That is not me, okay? I'm like, this is my first time probably being impersonated. I'm like, dang, maybe I should go private or something. But I'm like, frick it, man. My images are on the internet. If you want to see who I am, I'm a real person. I am the real Elijah Cohen Denson. But I like Eliyahu.
Yeah, it's happened to me like 5 times.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 23, starting at 5 to 8. Behold, the day comes, says Achiah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Yehudah shall be saved, and Yashar'al shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called Yahuwah Sekenu, or Achiah our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the day comes, says Achiah, that they shall no more, says Achiah lives, which brought up out the children of Yashar'al out of the land of Egypt, or Mitzrayim. But Achiah lives, which has brought up and which led the seed of the house of Yashar'al out of the north country and from all the countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. That's the precept. So, how y'all feel about that?
That's just, I guess, one of those encouraging words that we have to remind ourselves of, because what we believe is that this word is talking about us and our people, and that these prophecies, some have been fulfilled and some are still yet to be fulfilled. So, just a great reminder of what's to come for us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it reminds me of it's one of those things where I'm like, as I'm here living and moving in different places in this country, I'm realizing that this land was not built for me. It's not this place here is not for me. Even like before moving, but like traveling to like other countries and like mainly like, Southeast Asia, and seeing just the different people groups there, I was like, America is just not where you are going to end up, brother. And I wasn't even in the truth at the time, but I was just like, this is not my end all be all. I'm not, Yah willing, I'm not going to die here. So it's verses like these that just remind me of how amazing it is, not only to be like, a descendant of one of the 12 tribes, but also like covered by the blood of Yahshua, because it says, he will reign as king and act wisely. And that's something that I am looking forward to, because these presidents out here, these prime ministers, all these world leaders, they don't act wisely. And they reign from a place of just desire for power, and that's just rooted in pride and really just kind of demonic activity. So it's just like knowing that we have a holy high priest that is Yahshua is really a blessing, and we'll be able to dwell in a land where we'll have peace.
Pause. What is that noise?
It's just, I think it's across the street. He's doing pressure washer stuff.
Okay. Hopefully we won't be able to hear it.
That's what it is.
Okay.
So honestly, I have nothing to add. He took everything I could have possibly said about that verse. So yeah, onto the Hebrew word. So I think today the Hebrew word is going to be kind of two.
Okay.
We're going to go with Israel, and we're going to go with Yashar. All right, Yashar. All right, and not just Yashar, not Yashar'al, because it is a combination of El and Yashar. So I'm going to go with Israel first. Now, when you type in Strong's Concordance Israel, it actually brings up Yisrael. All right, okay. So it adds a Y. But you can tell based off of this definition how that name is not really a Hebrew term. Okay? So Yisrael, Strong's 3478, it just says God strives, or another name for Jacob and his descendants. That's literally it.
Okay.
Okay? And then it has 3479, a descendant of Jacob. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
But when you actually put Yashar, right, which, from Yashar'al, we have 3477. Yashar means straight, right, conscientious, fittest. Yashar, just, proposal of peace, right, safe, straight, upright, upright one, uprightly, uprightness. What is right? Which is right? Who are upright? And then you have 3474, to be smooth, straight, or right. Agreeable, directed, esteemed right, evenly applied, fixed straight, good, looks, make his smooth, make your straight, make smooth, making their straight, pleased, pleasing, straight, took the straight. And so this is the difference between Yashar'al, and then we already know El is always pointing to Yah, right, or God, right? So Yashar, which Asher is a part of that, Asher, Yasher, I ain't gonna. And then Israel, of course they throw Israel into there because modern Hebrew, but it doesn't really have too much of meaning into it, because it kind of shows Yashar'al, Israel, so
yeah.
What do y'all take from those?
To me it makes a clear distinction between Yisrael and Yashar. And when you really look at a word and then look at it in the Hebrew and then get those definitions behind it, you get a clear understanding of the context in which the word was written in,
this is beautiful. I'm sorry.
What?
No, this is beautiful. Go for it.
No, that was that.
The breaking down of our nation's name.
Yeah. Like the fact that the definition of uprightness is in the word is speaks for itself. Like the literal definition being upright one or uprightness or a way of walking in uprightness is self-explanatory.
Straightforward. It's it's a clear, distinct difference than that land over there.
Yeah. In Israel. I want to throw one more in there, right? Because there's only 2 times in the 66, or maybe 3, where Yashar'al is used.
Okay.
Yeah, or Yashar'al. But basically, the Most High calls Yashar'al that when they are actually acting upright. You know what I mean? But Yashar'al or Yashar means upright one, a poetic name for Israel. Which also comes from Yashar, upright one, a poetic name. So those are the 2 names for Yashar'al. Yashar'al is upright, it has all those definitions, and then Yashar'al is when the Most High actually views them as you are acting upright at this moment in your lives.
Yeah, that's a good distinction, because the name is like, it's just kind of like, if you technically are a thing, like by bloodline, but you don't identify yourself as that thing, you still are that thing, but you're not in correct walking until you decide to actually live by.
That's so good.
That's what. So the definition literally describes that.
Yeah.
My fingers are tingling, y'all. The rock is in this place. We talking now.
We have some kind of really passionate topics that we wanted to discuss today. So we want to start with our current events, and that is one that's a big one. Of course, everyone is saying this on every news outlet. No one is not reporting on this right now.
I know, a lot of people are avoiding it.
Some are. I mean, companies are sending out emails saying that we stand on this side or we stand on that side, and so we want to discuss the Hamas attack on the state of Israel, or the Israeli state, that occurred over the past weekend. So let's
Most
discuss.
High, I pray that this stays up on all platforms, that it is not taken down. Please, y'all, please, let this go through and stay up.
Most High, please just allow for us to speak with discernment and to be led by your Holy Spirit.
Wisdom, yes.
To give you the glory, Most High.
I'm on. All right. Here we go. All right.
I think the first thing that I'm going to say in regards to this Hamas attack of the state of Israel, I think they put out a statement that they said that this is our 9/11.
Oh, my goodness.
Their version, yes.
Their version of their 9/11, which is an interesting statement.
What's some things we know about 9/11 today that we might have not known during... what are some things we know about what we thought was going on?
Well, okay, we can start with the $2 trillion that was lost.
The day before,
the day
right?
before at the by the accounting staff at the Pentagon. That's one thing that may have not been known, or people just didn't peep that.
The Pentagon.
Oh,
go look at Google Maps and look at that. Go for it.
And then what else do we know? We know that there was a whole building that collapsed that wasn't even part of either World Trade 1 or 2. For some reason, everything in the planes burned up besides the terrorist passports.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. What else, guys? Come on. I can't be the only one.
No, we know look, we've seen the documentaries, Netflix, and all this stuff about it, and basically what is widely believed now about 9/11 is that the president at the time, Bush, that this was not necessarily what the terrorists that they were saying it was doing. This is most likely something staged and done by our own leadership. You know what I mean? Because yes, when you do look, how does a plane fall straight down? You know what I mean? From or a tower fall straight down from a plane hitting up top. I mean, there's all these questions, but yeah, I mean, let's not beat around the bush with that, at least, right? A lot of us seen these documents, we've heard these rumblings, these weird facts around, and what has happened ever since that happened. The government has been able to now install cameras everywhere, surveillance everywhere.
U.S. Patriot Act, look it up.
The U.S. Patriot Act, look it up.
And it's for anti-money laundering, but they can seize any and every phone record, like telecommunications record, bank records, like anything. Like I deal with it every day. But
it would be very genius to stage an attack, paint it as terrorism, just so you can put more control on people because you want more information from people for more control.
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
there's out of chaos comes order.
Yeah, order out of chaos, right? Mm-hmm. And this is also something that is written in those Masonic books, by the way.
Yeah, but
so yeah, using the term "this is our own 9/11" is very interesting.
Yeah, but it started about a week ago, right?
Correct. So I wanted to read an article in regards to the specific areas that were hit by Hamas in their surprise attack against Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had curiosity, like, how do they choose where they're going to launch an attack? Are they picking places that are heavily populated? Are they choosing, like, central locations for intelligence? And so this is about farming settlements and communities outside of Gaza. So this article states, during their surprise attack on Israel that left more than 1,200 dead, Hamas militants target several communal settlements known as kibbutzim.
Mm-hmm.
How would you? Sorry.
Kibbutzim.
Near the border with Gaza. So what is a kibbutzim? Name for Hebrew means gathering. It's typically a settlement in Israel, the first or a few farming communes in the South Sea of Galilee. They were founded in 1910. There are about 270 of these settlements near the border, and most are private. Some are in socialistic philosophy community of like cooperative living. And so this quote says, the Jewish settlers behind the movement envisioned these as a place of where Zionism meets Marxism. And so basically they're targeting
Yahoo.
some places on Yahoo. These are targeted areas where the Hamas chose to attack basically farmland and European settlers, European Jews that have moved into these areas and have cropped up all these large settlements. Mm-hmm. So it might have started off with one or two in 1910, and now there's almost 300 of those settlements. Mm. And so that tells us that their war is over territory more than it is about the religion. They're saying you cannot just continue to send people over from Europe and settle in these places that are already habitated. Yeah. So we're pushing back on that. You're raising taxes, you're pushing us out, and you're moving settlers in and giving them the opportunity to build in these places that we're not allowed to live, even though our ancestors own this land. That's their issue.
Speaking to that point, shout out to Go Black to Africa. He said something very wise on whether the war is over religion or territory. He mentioned the story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal, where they were, my God is stronger. No, my God, right? And Eliyahu said, you know what? Let's just cry out, and whoever responds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They both made altars, and whoever's God consumed it with fire. That the Most High proved that, who it was. The prophets of Baal, nothing happened. Eliyahu cried out and even doused it with water. And the Most High consumed the water and the altar. And the Most High showed. That's the main thing everybody needs to do in this, Christians, Jewish people, Muslims, Yashar'al. We should all cry out to our Most High and say, you know what? Whoever responds, whoever shows out and show out, this is the Most High.
What would that look like, though, in that area, though? Because we're saying
I'm
that
just
these
saying across the
fighting.
world. I'm saying across the world. No, I'm just talking about the area. I'm saying across the world. Right. Because that's and that's the thing. We are good, and we already know the book is written. The Most High will show out. But that is really like the whole solution for what's going on over there.
Yeah.
But if they do, and neither God responds,
that's what it would be. Because right now, the people that are fighting over those areas, I feel like they're not walking in the truth of who God's people are and what His will would be. So if they were to both cry out, who would He respond to? The Israelis? No. The followers of Muhammad? No. And that's who's fighting over there.
And I think one thing that I've come to understanding of is like I don't mind commenting on it and give my own perspective, but I realize like I'm just removed from it,
Yeah.
Like it's not our fight.
Yeah, this don't matter. This don't really do nothing for us. Like really, like we have our opinions, which we are sharing. We're a podcast, but I mean, this ain't our battle. This is, y'all thing. And I mean, before I even continue, I personally do pray for the people with the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach over there, and the ones who will eventually get the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. So I pray for the co-regime. And that's all the Bible tells us to pray for, really. Not this world, whose Hashatan, Semayazat, the Hashatan is the God of. But pray for the world to come, the kingdom to come, the people with the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. So, for us, that's who I'm worried about, right? That's who I'm caping for. Who has the testimony and who will have the testimony. And I don't say and I don't word it. I purposely don't word it like for people to find the Messiah. No, I purposely word it in the way of for those who will have it. Because at the end of the day, the Most High already knows who's His and who will be His. So I'm praying it like it's already in existence personally.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
But go. You had something.
I mean, as I look at like the Gaza Strip in comparison to like all of the state of Israel, it's kind of like it's very small and proportionate. So, I don't know if you all have read of like the Balfour Declaration, which basically, it was a statement given by Lord Balfour, who was in the British Parliament, that was really an agreement between two people groups to put new people or those people in the land that is the state of Israel, and to settle there and to really displace the Palestinians that were there. And now over these, it's been more than 100 years now. Since then, they've been backed into this corner. So it's like
you're talking about the Palestinians, right?
Yes, Palestinians and those that are in like that strip of Gaza, which is so small in comparison to all of Israel. So it's like I look at it kind of like you put a dog in a cage and then you just keep poking it. Eventually the dog's gonna like bark back or try and get out the cage, in that sense. So,
and there's no.
I'm not saying it's like it's reasonable to go and kill civilians or anything like that, but at what point are you gonna stand up for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, think of Nat Turner. Think of the slave revolts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are people unjust for fighting back against slavery and being killed?
Absolutely not.
And being what I mean? So we us as melanated people who have descended from the slave trade, we have a completely different way that we could see this in other people of different races that just have whatever opinions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have an actual experience where we can kind of see or understand things. At the end of the day, we should not condone, violence, right? And we do want peace. We want shalom, right? But I also understand what the word is prophesied. You know what I mean? And if all religions evolve, do read the Old Testament and respect the Old Testament, we should all be able to read and see what prophecies and things is talked about.
So
now,
if we say this about prophecy, then who do we say the Palestinians are?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't done my research on their ancient identities. I know some people were talking about the Philistines, but I listened to Ron Dalton of Hebrews and Eagles talk about on the subject, and he was like, well, you could say that, but think about it. A lot of people aren't in their original lands that they were back in those ancient times. People have still, even those maybe original Philistines have been moved out. Maybe they're different, known as a different term, maybe deeper in Africa today, So it's really a thing we have to really kind of do your due diligence research on each individual people.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to talk too much about what we feel is the main land of Israel. I think we've talked about that in other podcasts. If y'all want to go and watch our other podcasts, check them out. We put maps of, where I believe where Yashar'al is, and they might believe or disagree. But I'm gonna read a source from the United States themselves, CIA.gov, which I've shared on here before.
Okay.
So from our
it must be reputable.
So it must be reputable. From our CIA, this document is called "Bloodlines of the Illuminati." Rothschilds buy all of Erez, Israel. It took many years for the Rothschilds to finally create Israel. The Rothschilds have been a primary force behind the creation of Israel, and so it is appropriate that the nation carries its magical seal of Solomon as the state logo. The ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel will not serve an Israeli army because they know that the Almighty God was not behind the creation of modern Israel, but rather the rich, ungodly, apostate Jews. That's all I'm going to say, right? And I'll put this document, And so, I just want to know that that is what the United States CIA views that land as, no matter what Biden says in the government on television. So if y'all really want to know y'all stance or what America and their people really know and what their organization really know and see, do some deeper digging than the farce that they put on television and acting like ways.
That's the one thing I've been. Just stop taking everything at face value, people.
Yeah.
Stop please ask questions about things, and also come to conclusions on your own. Do your own study and your own research and come to conclusions by yourself instead of being spoon fed information that you're just gonna take at face value. That's one thing I've had to learn for myself. Being on social media, you see so many different things, and it's some of these things are really far reaching, but
right.
What you do is you take that information, you say, okay, let's break this down from from an Elijah perspective and just be okay, can this make sense? Okay, if it can't make sense, okay, what would have to line up? Go research that, make sure it lines up, and just I think it is important to get the full picture of things and not just one person's or one perspective, which is unfortunately what a lot of people are doing nowadays.
And then we have to consider what side our government is on. So U.S. They're obviously known allies to the state of Israel, the Israeli state.
And I believe
and
I believe to get in politics, you have to recognize Jerusalem as a state of Israel.
Yeah,
as well, too.
politically we have to. So that means that it doesn't matter if it's Fox News or CNN or whatever side they tell us are giving us both perspectives, liberal or conservative. No, all U.S. mainstream outlets are reporting on our bias that we are allies with the state of Israel. So that is our perspective. Our perspective is that our ally, based on all the news outlets, that our ally was attacked by terrorist organizations. So therefore, we are going to fund and stand up for our ally. So that is all they're reporting on. That is the only perspective. No other news outlet is giving any perspective of what's actually going on from the side of the Palestinians. They're only speaking on that side.
Yeah.
Check the internet sources. Check Turkey, countries over there that actually put out information on the internet. You might have to go to page 2 or 3, but you can find it.
It's the most
and
unfair
get different perspective.
Thing. I watch The View, I just watch it as far as news, whatever, politics, and it's this is an atrocity. This is worse than the Holocaust. We need to stand up. These people have never had a freedom to a religion. This is a humanitarian crisis, and that perspective is really damaging.
Freedom to religion? What?
That is what they're saying. They're saying that they are not having the freedom to express their religion without persecution. And the example of that is this terrorist attack against the Muslim nations are terrorizing them for their belief. That is what they're reporting on.
That's insane. Because it's really the other way around.
And, again, as a black person, who knows our community descent from slave ship, it's bruh, if anybody can knows what these subjects are actually it's us. And we have a lot of course miseducated and undereducated people in our community, especially in the westernized Christian world. But at the end of the day, for our people, there's not really a side to take at all. Again, when you look at Africa was enslaved to Muslims for 1,000 years. I mean, killing, rape, all different for 1,000 years.
And they were actually successful because a lot of the African nations that were not Muslim like in the historically are now.
Bro, a lot of Yoruba
Like,
people I know, like they're either Christian or Muslim. You know what I mean? Like
they were successful in that
and
region.
it's and if they're in most of the Yoruba that I know have their own business are Muslim. Like and then and then when it comes to Judaism, like look, this is from the book Jews and Judaism in the United States by Mark Lee Raphael. It's just excerpt. In Curacao in the 17th century, as well as in British colonies of Barbados and Jamaica in the 18th century, Jewish merchants played a major role in the slave trade. In fact, all American colonies, whether French, British, or Dutch, Jewish merchants frequently dominated.
They freaking financed it.
So it's like, bro, it's like, look, man, at the end of the day, whatever is happening there, because again, we just heard how her homegirl, like, nothing is really going on over here, and then next thing she's flown, back home. Look, man, our news be telling half truths, so it's kind of like we don't know what's really happening. My guy said it's like our 9/11, so that's very questionable because here in America, we understand a lot of us understand what that really kind of was.
Right.
So it's like, it's like, but of course, innocent lives being lost is always wrong, right? But again, I just pray for the co-regime. I pray for the co-regime, you know what I mean? And that's for co-regime who has different views from me as well, too. It is what it is.
I pray the same. Like, that's my prayer as well. When I look at history, people who believe like we do typically are persecuted and cannot live harmoniously in their own place whatsoever, ever. Wherever people who believe like us, and historically they haven't looked like us, the people who believe like us, who say we are these people, we're going to live by these laws and statutes, we're going to claim this identity, they can't survive. Like, wherever they settle, they're usually run out, persecuted, killed, or almost completely annihilated. And so now here we are, and the Most High has kept us hidden. So while these wars are going on and people are pointing the finger here and there and killing one another, we're just not waking up to our identity, and no one is even looking at us or for us.
It's precept. I just refer back to the precept. That's what I'm banking on. That's what I'm praying for. What our precept is, and just so you know, I'm a Kikuyu, and the Kikuyu say that they're descendants of the tribe of Asher of Yashar'al. So I have every right to talk. I have proof and evidence, DNA and last name evidence, by the way.
And that's fair. As you should.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It'd be so funny if this is the one video that takes off.
It's real. It's real. I guess I should mention this.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's a pun.
This comes from the Most High's word, Psalms 83. Just so you guys can get a better understanding of our perspective. Psalms 83. We'll be reading
I love that one.
1 through 9. Do not keep.
Wait, Pete. I might want you to read more than that, depending.
No, I'm getting into the tribes that are going against it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because I have that screen, but I also have the contract.
18 verses.
And they do put him by name, like literally not by name.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Might as well just do the full thing. Do not keep silent, O Elohim. Do not hold your peace or be still, O Elohim. For behold, your enemies are in tumult, and those who hate you have raised their heads in hatred of you. They concoct crafty schemes against your people and conspire against your hidden and precious ones. They have said, come and let us swipe them out as a nation. Let the name of Israel be remembered no more. For they have conspired together with one mind. Against you they make a covenant. The tents of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
Ooh, in my version, it says they are confederate against you.
Oh.
Go for it.
Interesting. Of Moab and the Hagrites. Gabal and Ammon and Amalek. Philistia with the inhabitants of
Philistine.
Tyre. Yeah, that's right there. Assyria also has joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot, the Ammonites and the Moabites, and have been an arm of strength to them. Selah. That's all I'm gonna read. You can go ahead and read the whole chapter.
Do unto them as the Midianim, and the Sisera, and the Yavin, the Greeks, and the brook of Kishon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Zavak and Salmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Elohim in possession. O Elohai, make them like a wheel, as a stubble for the wind. As a fire burns a wood, and as a flame sets a mountain on fire, so persecute them with your tempest, and make them afraid with your storm. This is a prayer for the Most High to destroy the nations that have enslaved, Yashar'al. And one thing that's very interesting is when you actually look at the wildfires pattern across the entire world, the wildfires. There are more wildfires in Western civilizations than in Africa. When you look at the hurricane storms, cyclones, and typhoon pattern, they follow the exact pattern as a slave trade. Wow. When you look at the tornadoes pattern, which only happens on this side of the United States, by the way, they follow the same exact path as the Underground Railroad.
Through Alabama, Mississippi, barely making it up north.
Exact. Yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those prayers. And what I have here is the Ascientio Contract for allowing the subjects of Great Britain the liberty of importing Negroes into Spanish America. Signed by the Catholic King at Madrid the 25th day of March 1713. Printed by John Iskit Printer in the Queen. Okay, I'm going to just put this on there on the screen. But peep this. Slavery in the Catholic Church, 1975, page 52 to 53. Papal grants to the King of Portugal, giving authority to enslave the Saracens and other non-Christians of West Africa, with whom Christendom is at war, 1452 to 1514. In 1442, a Portuguese captain brought to the Gold Coast some Moorish prisoners of war, exchanged them for 10 Negro slaves. This is the actual contract, the literal contract that this entire chapter is pointing to. This is the contract that allowed the slave trade.
Oh, wow. Signed
by the Catholic King.
Send me that.
Yes.
I need that.
Yes. So, look, man. Again, we have not given our opinions or support or non-support to anybody on this subject. We've just presented information around the subject. And you can draw your own conclusions or not draw a conclusion. Anything else on this subject, you guys?
No.
Yeah, this is something we'll be continuing to keep an eye on. There'll be further news that's going to be coming out. I feel like at church the leadership is kind of saying let's not focus on this. Let's we know these things are going to happen. Let's not even really discuss it. So this is not going to be the last conversation.
Yeah. We pray for our protection. That no harm comes to us for these topics, and we repent for any sins. So this prayer reaches you. Amen. Keep us safe.
I do think we should go straight to alternative thought.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Good.
All right.
So for the alternative thought, we're just going to put out an open-ended question, and I would like to know how you guys would react.
And we want to know how you all would react too.
How would you react to being drafted into the U.S. Army for World War III?
Scenario: you hear a knock at the door. 2 soldiers are in front of you. We've looked into your records. It seems that you did sign off on the draft when you went to college for your FAFSA and such, and we see that you're able-bodied and you have no health concerns, so we need you.
How
we're going to send you over there.
React to this
to the quote-unquote
message.
Middle East, which is really still on the tectonic plate of Africa.
Yeah. I got so many cards I can pull here. Okay.
Let's pull them.
I'm gonna be like, Well, no. I just closed the door.
Saying you're gay is not going to work, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It's a thing of the past.
I identify as a woman. I identify as a non-militant person.
I do not identify as a human being.
Yeah.
I'm a lamp.
I identify as an amputee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a wheelchair. I'm gonna drag my body across the floor and open the door like this. Sorry, my legs was like that yesterday.
Yeah.
I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and they tried to draft him to war, and he acted like he was clinically insane and made statements about how he thought about committing heinous crimes and that he considered murder, and like he literally went into the interview and acted like he was out of his mind and scared them, and they did not take him to war.
Yeah, I'd probably do that. That's one of my options, but also like I'm not going to fight y'all's war. If y'all want people to go, draft the people that want to go, or send all the politicians that signed up for the war.
You would be considered a Buffalo Soldier.
I don't care.
There's a Buffalo Soldier. It's like when they put the black man. They put the black man in the white man's war. It's a Buffalo Soldier.
Yeah,
y'all brought us over here in chains, and you want us to fight for the rights and the freedoms of this country.
You want me to die for this foolishness? Like, send some drones over there, or some AI people.
And
I just saw
AI
the creator,
person.
by the way.
Hey, you type U.S. military draft in Google search engine and put news, and it said in all these articles, no, the military isn't laying the groundwork for a draft.
The U.S. is not planning to order young men to enlist.
Like if there was a draft, like you don't like it would be like civil unrest. It could cause a civil war.
I would just.
It could.
Despite feminism and everything else, I would like to think that women are still not being would not be drafted or considered at all.
Yeah, I don't think that they would, but I think a lot of women would be up in arms too. Be like, nah, you're not taking.
You're not taking my son. You're not taking people's husbands away.
Like it would be really a reach, and like I said, I'm just not going. And also, I think that there may be a stipulation. I don't know if this is just from the movie Mulan or not, but if you're the only male in your family, then no, you're not able to go.
Oh yeah, both of y'all are.
Look at what the USA looks like. With sending a whole bunch of men in high heels to the front lines. Like our whole front line is gonna have broken ankles, hurt feet. Like, come on, man. Like. We're done.
That's why they take us as a joke.
The fact that they freaking
you have a rainbow medallion on your
shoulder. Look. They cut off so many people in the military during the jab. You know what I mean? And that's where we really lost a lot. We're weak, yo. Yeah. Our military is really weak right now, and
you're not supposed to say that.
It's still number one. We're still number one. We're still number one in the world.
You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say
we got
allegedly.
I think Brandon may be referring to manpower.
Well, yeah, manpower. Yeah, allegedly,
we got machines.
Yeah, we have technology. We have interceptors. Speaking of which, I saw the most insane video. It was like an international news outlet that showed rockets being deflected off of the cities, like certain cities in Israel.
Oh yes, I saw that too.
Like the rockets were like, there's like
a
dome, but it's like virtual. Like it's like an invisible dome. So like when they were sending over missiles and stuff, they were like exploding in the sky over the city.
They have one of the
technology that does
they have one of the strongest defense systems, and but
it would
I
make
don't know
sense
how true
because
that
of
is.
who owns them.
I haven't. I haven't. I don't know if that's a fact. I haven't looked into that, but that's very interesting. But yeah, I do know they have one of the strongest militaries, But yeah, we brought up this topic because I saw an article, which I can't find now, but basically that's one of the most search engine things right now, ever since, October 7th, which was Feast of Tabernacles, and this thing just so coincidentally happened on Feast of Tabernacles.
No, they did this on purpose on that day.
On purpose, yeah.
They knew it was, people were out there having festivals and stuff.
Yeah, right, so it's like, so it's like, man, what was I finna say, man?
Like people are concerned about being drafted.
Yeah. So that's one of the most searched engine thing right now. So I think it was an interesting topic to come up.
If that really happened though, in all reality, as many jokes as we're making, there's nothing they could do. If they came to you and was like, if you don't go, that you're pretty much committing like treason against the country, you're going to go. You don't have a choice.
Muhammad Ali, I'm going to jail.
I'll go to jail.
You'd rather go to jail?
Yeah, then die.
You're not definitely dying. Everyone who goes to war does not die.
Well, there's a higher likelihood if I'm
It's very high
highly
likelihood if they drop you off in the
bro.
middle of Lebanon.
Look,
I'm gonna go to jail. And I'm gonna be on
sickle
fast.
cell trait. I can't breathe. Can't do
go.
high altitude. I can't run miles. I crescent shaped.
They're gonna pull up your
blood
Instagram
cells.
and be like, "Really? Because
You're
you're a fitness instructor.
6,000.
I didn't delete everything.
Ran a marathon. Run a marathon.
Well, look, I don't got no videos of me going up high mountains and running miles. My cardio is trash. Just because I can lift a weight does not mean I have good cardio. Okay, yeah. I tried running with them and I was wheezing. You know what I mean? So
I would probably plead insanity.
I would just cry. Like if someone knocked on like my family's front door hypothetically and took my little brother because he's within age. He's like 23. Like I don't know.
What is the age?
It's like 18 to like 37 or 38. Right under 40.
Somebody told me it was like 20 something. But okay.
So you're good.
Because I'm old. Yeah, I just pulled out gray hairs, man, off my knee. Golly, there it goes again.
Well, you could go to
Can't walk.
You could go to basic training and just fail. You could also
just get out there and do absolutely terrible.
Like you could just fail.
Hey, sickle cell trait, man, can't breathe, and I'm not even bluffing. Seriously, my cardio has always been trash. I've always had old man cardio for real, bro. It's like, like I'm
same.
Yeah, like.
My reaction.
I just have sickle cell trait. I have sickle cell.
Tears. Like tears. My reaction would be tears. Like say they just come, they snatch all y'all. They take you.
You too. You're a woman. You can still go. Strong black woman. All that stuff. Black girl magic.
I would just be at home crying, grieving. I swear, I probably wouldn't
at
crack
home.
a smile.
You're getting on.
No, I'd be at home crying.
No,
home crying.
I'm not.
I'm just gonna miss them so much.
No,
You
man.
don't have to worry. Don't even think hypothetical.
They don't draft women. So what are you saying? Like, what are you
I'm
jokingly saying? Because they don't draft women ever. They never have.
Hey, this country has broken their own rules.
They're gonna
No, they might
plenty
make
of times.
They're gonna make us
to
like
the front lines or to a factory.
factories. Yeah, I'll be at the factory.
Country has broken
crying.
their own rules plenty of times.
They're gonna make me work for
don't care.
Amazon and all these defense weapons places.
Yeah.
It's just these gosh dang proxy wars that they just have to keep getting into. That it don't make no gosh dang sense. And to bring it's really just like I was watching some video. They were talking about how from 39 to 45, 1939 to 45, every minute 1,000 men were dying.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
Most of them
every
were Russian.
Minute. Yeah. In gosh dang, in this world, and now it's like I don't know how many it is now, but it's like not that many per minute.
But it will be.
I read an apocryphal.
If they start World War III.
I read an apocryphal text, or a pseudographical text. It might have been a laughing story of Adam and Eve or another one, but an angel said for every 7,000 people, only one is saved. So
a lot of death.
say if that is actually biblically accurate. For every 7,000, only one is saved.
Oh wow!
7 number of completion. So think about that. If that is true for every 7, you said every second or minute?
Every second.
Every second 1,000 men were dying, or a minute? Was it a minute?
It's probably a minute.
Okay, so every 7 minutes, only one of them would be making it into the kingdom on average.
Wow.
Like, think about that, man.
It's real
I actually did the math on that. Like, I did like that times 8 billion.
Yeah.
And it was like some around 100 million or something like that. It was something low.
I got good odds.
If I got the draft back, I just would not know what to do. I mean, I seriously would. Because then at that point, they would have to go full communism. Like, you don't get to work where you want to work. You're working where we tell you to work. Like,
well, I heard a quote that was like saying democracy is really just a precursor to communism. Like that's a very common. I heard, man, where did I hear that from though? But like how democracy is kind of like a fake. Like a lot of these African countries are throwing America out because they've realized the democracy that they've been is like a lie. Like it's really been almost communism they've been pushing in a lot of African countries, and I mean, and just look at how they've kind of see the thing with America. They haven't necessarily forced people.
It's like communism to the highest bidder almost.
Yeah, and the thing about America is not like they forced mad people to do things, but they have coerced and deceived people into do things, which feels like communism. You know, but they're using fear and things like that, and not just saying, "No, we're making you do this." No, it's like, well, you do this, an ultimatum.
Yeah.
You know.
This would be the perfect time for like all Negroes to come together. Us in the Caribbean and everything else. It'd be the perfect time for us to be like, all right, we're already in a weak state.
Yeah.
We're about to demand what they owe us now. Now or never. We're going to literally threaten them because they don't have a choice. Like, they're very fragile at this time.
This could have happened when we came out of slavery. The thing is,
We
not
were
enough
too fragile
of us.
then.
Not enough. No,
Now we're stronger.
well, I'm saying it's a mindset thing because I don't think the majority still have that type of mindset. That's why we have to depend on Yashar'al. You know, our scattered people abroad. Like, it's only gonna be us. Like, we really think like just woke people and people who are doing like, yeah, we're gonna be able. The Most High uses enemies for our good, right? So, say we have friends and things like that who don't necessarily have the salvation or testimony of the Messiah, but they might get into gardening. Oh, they might start wanting to get land. They might want to do these things. Cool.
Yes, that is what
They'll only be along for the ride for so long until it's time for the true believers to break off from our friends and family who still don't. Being woke, quote unquote, ain't enough. Yeah. That's the thing. You have to have the ruach.
So we might as well talk about it. What is woke? Like, what is woke? What does it mean to be woke?
Well, there's
this is our topic of the week, y'all.
Yeah, the week. You got this. I think there's multiple wokes, but you know, you got the softer woke, which is like, I'm pro gender equality,
Which,
and, you know,
I'm liberal.
When I tell you,
care
they
about
flip that word so quick. I'm like, what does
pro-choice?
Well, let's start.
liberalism
Let's start.
have to do
Wait,
with wokeness?
Let's start here, you guys. When the term first became a thing, what was woke when
That's
it first?
I think
The
that's
first
what it was.
thing that I ever saw about woke was like literally like this. Like, black people decided like, we're growing our hair out, like we're not going to the doctor anymore, we only have natural remedies. Like, I'm woke. I'm not like pressing my hair. Like, that was the first version of woke to me.
Racism, comedicism.
Yeah. Also,
And was that
woke
around
is
maybe
also,
like
I
the
think
Trayvon
it's-
Martin death? Did woke start around then or before that?
I saw people starting to get woke like in 2010-ish. And it started with the hair for me. Like, a lot more people were just doing different things with their hair all of a sudden. And then after the hair, it just like transformed into like two separate kinds of people. Like, you had like the corporate blacks who like want to fit in and like purposely try and like fit that mold. And like, then you had the ones who just like literally refused to participate in society. And those were the wokes. So now it's transformed into
it's like
people are doing kifa, and then other people are into Egyptian beliefs, and then we have Hebrews over here,
yeah.
and then you have
these,
beards, and then you have locks, and then you have.
It's so deep, honestly. It is, and it's like also you can throw in like conspiracy theories too into the woke category. Though of course the liberals into there because everyone has their own version of woke.
But now politics is steering what woke is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, politics completely changed the definition and actually made it opposite.
Yeah, like civil rights is now alphabet community rights. Like, that's woke today.
Yeah.
You know, or feminism, or just like
They call it inclusivity.
yeah, or inclusivity, and you know, like, I mean, heck, they're gonna probably put this whole thing on the news in the book. Like, bruh, it's just, I honestly hate the word. I hate the word now. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. I've never bought one of them shirts. Yeah. I've never typed it in a text message. I've never said I don't want to be like y'all. If y'all woke, I want to be blind. Gouge my eyes out, and I only want my pineal gland in the Messiah.
Yeah, being woke meant like coming out of the Matrix. Like, you were once in the Matrix and now you're woke. Like, we pulled your plugs and now you're woke.
Oh, y'all still know. There's so many levels to the Matrix. That's the crazy
Not
thing.
you think you wake up and you still have more plugs in, so you have to wake up again. Like,
right, yo, the rabbit hole continues.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, oh, I'm woke now, and then someone's like, oh, by the way, did you know this? And you're like, okay, I was asleep.
Yo, I thought I was woke when I was like researching pulsars and magnetars and planets and all this stuff, and you know, I'm not going to get deep into that, but, you know, when I started to go deeper, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I've been wasting my entire years, like, researching these interesting things.
Some people, they only just got woke when they decided they didn't want the snake bite.
Yeah.
Like if you were like the only person,
Thank you
despite
for censoring.
belief, like you weren't even, you're not religious.
The only thing we've censored this entire podcast.
Like nothing else
take it down.
like was relevant for you, but only the snake bite. You said I'm not getting that. Then to your family, you were woke.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so woke. Yeah, that is true.
Nah, the family didn't look at you as woke. They looked at you as like heinous and you don't care if I die and stay out of my house. Like
Evil.
Look, I literally had cousins like, oh well, if you come visit, we'll come outside and say, oh, I'm okay. I'm not visiting y'all. Never mind. Like literally, like you can't come. Come. We'll say hi to you in the driveway. Like, no, I just won't see you guys. Bye. I'm going from Panama, passing Orlando, straight to Miami.
Still haven't seen him. I'm guessing.
No, I've seen him since.
Okay.
It's when that was like during the heat of everything, and I was still outside in these streets. I just came back from Kenya. Some of the homies, we decided to go to Panama. Like
on this topic, I guess of being woke. I don't know if you, and this is kind of off topic, but it's about the snake bite, but also like just this new strand or whatever. Have you noticed a lot of people are starting to get sick right now? Like from the past weeks?
I did.
Since
I have.
The gosh dang alert went out.
I don't know.
I noticed a little before that, but I will say it is funny that we got that alert, and then everything just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
But I have noticed more people have started to get sick. Like maybe they've started, turning up the 5G more.
Yeah. I've just seen people wearing masks. Like I don't know if I have evidence.
I've seen people start wearing masks.
But just like
now.
people are just wearing masks again. I've seen people doing like photo shoots and they're wearing masks. Like there's no way I'm gonna have a whole bridal photo shoot or whatever and I can have a mask on.
Y'all are definitely not woke.
Yeah, those are the non-woke individuals. I mean, I saw like not long ago when it was still hot, someone was like outside walking in 90 degrees with a mask on. What are your beliefs? It's so hot outside.
Yeah,
You're alone.
I saw someone walking in a group with a mask on outside. I'm like, wait a second. What about the
Do you forget that trees literally revitalize the oxygen in our atmosphere? Like, and you're literally inhaling plastic and fabric.
But then maybe they had the mask on because now they give us alerts when they say that the air quality is like not good. We have air quality alerts now.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That we didn't used to have.
Oh yeah, cause maybe if we start putting chemtrails everywhere, like bro,
then maybe people
I'm
could
tired of this. And we didn't even see any in Alabama this entire time.
None.
They're really spraying up Atlanta because they know the highest concentration of Hebrews is in Atlanta.
It's here. There's concentrated.
In good Alabama, I ain't see a chemtrail. I didn't even see a cloud.
It was insane.
That's when I was woke. I became woke when I was like just minding my business with like friends, and I'm like looking up, like you guys look at the chemtrails, and everyone's like, why are we looking in the sky? I was like, I'm woke.
Why are we looking in the sky?
Yeah,
like y'all don't look at the sky.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm woke.
I've literally, I'll mention chemtrails. Like, what's chemtrails? I'm like, you don't see the straight lines like
that's
like
not
planes.
A cloud.
You don't see that. Like, do you not look at the sky when you drive?
Yeah.
Does your peripheral vision not show you? No, I just look at the road. I'm like, okay,
well, what about just being
this is
outside?
how I know I have the Ruach, because how are you that blind to where you can be driving the highway down into Atlanta and not see the city line in the sky, and you notice things like this?
Yeah.
Like,
you're woke. You're woke.
I don't blame it.
I became woke when I had that spiritual realm experience in 2019 I told y'all about. Like last time I was in my old church. Once I woke up out of that, that's where the process started for me, man. Yeah. I prayed that unquenchable thirst for knowledge and wisdom. That verse Moral Couture gave from Ephesians, like about pray for a ruach of wisdom and knowledge. Like that is what really, that's when I started to become quote unquote woke. But boy, I tell you, boy, like I be telling people about like, yeah, man, I was on the Trump hate train, and then now like,
were you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like I wasn't on the hate train. I didn't really care, but it was like okay, trash guy, whatever,
like
it's
he's
politics.
Trash, yeah.
But then you learn about, well, the black community did, business-wise, go crazy during, the... and so it's
the
like...
pandemic, that's what they called it.
Bruh, like,
it was the pandemic.
It'd be like every time you look at something in hindsight, you'd be like, dag, I was stupid in the moment.
Same.
And...
Obama.
And he's in all right. Obama was the first no one was ever voted for.
Yeah, he was such a great president and everything. I hadn't even looked into his policies.
You just knew he was great.
Yeah, he's just so great.
I mean, people kept like mementos in their house of him and pictures of him and like and Michelle, and it was like a big deal. People's Wi-Fi password was like Obama 2014. Like it was.
There's a reason why Kenya's been trying to kick him out. Like
yeah.
Like, it don't matter that his dad was a Kenyan. It don't matter. They don't want him there.
Very short Yashar'al.
You know, like, you gotta, like, watch the videos of him debating, you know, the president of Kenya or Uganda, and they were just like, we don't have those issues over here. That is America. You keep that over here. Yeah. We have our traditions. It is not a thing for our people. We do not care about these things.
You're ready to go to Kenya. Your accent is already there.
Oh, my gosh, y'all.
Accent is already there.
Yeah, I can do the female impersonation too.
Oh, please save that. Save that and spare us.
We don't want to get any one.
Juanita, I only need your approval on that.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I have a question for Elijah. It's related to financial needs.
Okay.
How do you think? Because this can be fully just opinion based. I know you can't see the future, but how will this Israeli-Gaza war affect our banking system from what we know about who owns the banks?
Okay. Well, I think we have to look at this the conflict as a proxy war. First off, I think that's
officially a war now.
Yeah, it's a war. It's a war between those two countries, but it's also a proxy war for the United States, for Russia, and China.
And I do think it's more of a mental war.
Yeah.
I think more than people are dying, I think it's more of a mental war. Obviously, it's more of a spiritual war before anything.
Oh yeah.
But what was it quoted? Oh, you know the Albert Pike. You ever read that Albert Pike document where he talked about making the Jewish and Islam people go to war?
I've heard quotes from what I know what you're referring to.
No. Let me see. I want to see if I got it real quick because this will set you up.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh my gosh, I gotta find. You go. I'll tell you when I found it.
Okay. It's a proxy war, United States versus Russia, China type stuff, and I think how it's gonna affect our banking system is a little twofold. I think it's gonna usher us into this new financial system because it's a proxy war. Then we're gonna start to get attacked by Russia and China here on American soil, in the sense of our power grid being attacked, our utility systems being attacked, and society kind of shutting down a little bit, with like outages and things like that. And then people just not having access to money. One thing I actually saw on Twitter last night was there's bank runs going on in China right now. Which is not really in relation to this, but it's interesting because there's domino effects. Like when things happen globally, like in a week or so, we could see things happening. We have a very close relation with Japan as well, our banking system. But how is this going to affect it? I think it's just this conflict is going to help usher in this new financial system, which is going to be based on blockchain technology and really introducing central bank digital currencies as the biggest medium to pay. So what I see how it's going to affect us is we're going to start to see a lot more intervention by banks in knowing their customer, and probably I don't know if you guys already have this on your phones, but with your banking apps, it's probably going to be a heightened level of two-factor authentication in a real way. And then it's probably I already know it's gonna be harder to get out cash, but they're trying to hold on to fiat money, but it's going away. But I do think that this war is I don't know how it's gonna happen, how it's gonna play out, but it's just gonna move us closer towards this new financial system, that is going to be utilized to implement the one world order. So. It's just slowly but surely.
I also think it's going to be another excuse. You actually hit on this earlier. Another excuse to monitor activity.
Oh yeah.
Because what I'm hearing from our news outlets and the way that they're telling the story to us, their big question that is unanswered is who is funding Hamas? Who is funding ISIS? Who is funding Hezbollah? Whoever are funding these individuals, that's who we need to get. That's where. So in order for them to do that, they must track the money. They have to follow the money. So that's going to be a reason for them to like tighten up on all these regulations so that they can allegedly find out who is funding their side of the war. Because we know who's funding the Israeli side of the war.
Oh yeah, we sure do.
So the question becomes, well, who's funding the Hamas and all these groups coming together in the Middle East against them? We have to track that money.
Yeah, just it's kind of like it's a blanket type of legislation that'll probably be pushed to get more records out of people, and also just a lot more surveillance state types of things. Because, well, I wanted to mention this earlier, but with the there's like a lot of refugees coming from Egypt, Saudi Arabia, in those Middle Eastern countries that are just military age men, which I just find is so interesting.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Sudanese,
Yeah,
lots of coming from Sudan.
it's like, why are they here without family? You know,
in country invasion.
So I think it's gonna be wild times. Get ready, guys, because we are in quarter one of deception season. Yeah. So deception and also distraction, because football.
Yeah.
Football. Basketball is about to start coming back on.
Oh boy.
It's definitely football.
And then we got this war, so that's all you're gonna hear about.
It's gonna be so much fluoride face.
Oh,
you try to talk to people about this stuff, and you just duh.
Yeah.
There's like no penetration or no, just duh, like fluoride face everywhere.
Yeah.
Stop drinking the tap water,
Please.
And then, it's not like the summer anymore, so they can spray all they want, but people are like inside more, like they have more time to like research on the computer. I think that it's easy to distract people during the summer because they're like, we're just trying to get outside and socialize and be around other people. But during these seasons, this is when people are really locked into what's going on around the world, and like they're on Twitter and they're on Parler and they're on their platforms. They're talking about these things.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna read what I have as to end out the conversation. So, y'all continue, and I'm gonna read that at the end. But yeah, man, it is distraction season for sure. Distraction season for sure, man. And I mean, look, here's the thing, right? And this is like to like also our leaders, right, in the Hebrew community, which I respect and love, y'all. I do understand. You guys have more experience than us, right? And there's a protection that you feel you must have, as leaders, over us. But I also recognize that we're a body, and all of us have different roles. Some people have the roles that just spread love, the Messiah at all times. And while all of us are employed to spread the love of Messiah, some of us do have roles to be a little bit more bold as a lion, right? As the word says. Some of us do have roles to be healers. Some of us do have roles to be just preparers or to be in the background. But I do think this is on top of preaching the love of Messiah, and that at the end of the day, he's the only one who can save you out of anything. This is also exposed to unfruitful works of darkness, yo. Yeah. We have to talk about these things. We have to talk about these things to make people aware of this stuff, because at the end of the day, my people do perish for lack of knowledge, and at the end of the day, not knowing something, even if you do have salvation, not knowing something can still hurt you physically, even though it might not hurt you as much spiritually. It's like, if I have a love of Messiah and I go out and eat shellfish all the time, okay, cool. I have salvation, but I'm in a hospital, high blood pressure. You know what I mean? If I have the love of Messiah and, I'm ignorant of who is Yashar'al, then I can waste money sending money over there because my pastor keeps saying we need to send money. We need to send money. We need to send money. Like, you know what I mean? You can still hurt physically even without a lack of knowledge. And so, you can't have faith without improving knowledge. Not faith and knowledge goes hand in hand. And so, some of us, man, we just have the faith that the Messiah will still protect us, even if we are more bold or more vocal about things, and And we really pray, yes, for that hedge of protection around us so that we can move and talk about this stuff, you know, and wake people up, you know.
Just calling a spade a spade.
Wise words. Anything last to add, Deja, before I read this?
No, nothing to add.
All right. I just want to add this, you guys, because do know that we are watching a plot, something that's been planned, you know, rolling out in the world. We already know the word is prophesied what's going to happen, but you have people on the other side who the Most High is allowing to do what they do, and then he's going to judge them in the end, you know what I mean? You already know my stance. When I look at end time prophecy, I do believe a lot of what is prophesied is actually Hashatan doing, and he's just allowing it to happen until his end time judgments in that tribulation really kick off. Albert Pike, August 15th, 1871, 33rd degree Mason, and one of the most important figures in their lodges. The First World War must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the Tsars in Russia and making the country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergencies caused by their agents of the Illuminati between British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. Look at what Russia.
That's the third one?
No, first.
Okay.
Yeah, so look at, it is very
crazy.
communist-like over there, right? Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascist and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that the Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. We shall enlist the nihilist and the atheist, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which on all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. Then, boy, you could get chills reading this.
Yeah.
Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization in the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. This is also the same person who, and I quote Morals and Dogma, Lucifer the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give to the spirit of darkness, is it he who bears the light, sensual and selfish souls, doubt it not.
And the way that it's all written out, it makes sense, because if you lead people to think that all this destruction was due to religion, it will be easier for everyone to say, okay, fine, get rid of all religion. Like, these whole groups of people kill each other behind religion. Let's get rid of religion. It makes sense.
And again, Friday the 13th just passed, which is the anniversary of the Knights Templar being the first, real quote organization, back in the Catholic Church. These crusaders with the red cross on their shield. They were burned at the stake hypocritically by the Catholic Church for worshiping the Baphomet. And at their disbandment on Friday the 13th came all these other little organizations that we have now.
Yeah.
And they observe that day, like
Yeah.
standing up and fighting for their belief type of thing.
I was literally invited to like a Halloween type event. I'm
They must
inside.
not know you at all.
I'm inside.
To
They
even
do. They're
invite
actually
you
a
to
very
that.
close friend, but you know
They would have to know your opinion on that. Like, no one in my life would think to invite me to anything for Halloween. Like,
It's their month.
yeah, they're about to be running rampant out there.
Spooky month, man. Yeah.
Spooky season. It's just interesting how all the stores have all these gosh dang skeletons. Like, don't y'all realize that this is associated with the dead?
It's disgusting.
It's crazy.
Who would want to hang fake dead things on their windows and their doors
Look-
so that spirits can manifest in those things? Maybe that's what we need to talk about next week.
Yeah, look up Samhain, you guys. Samhain, the origin of Halloween. Druid Celts, you know, worshiping the god of hell, Samhain. They would go from house to house asking for a family sacrifice, whether it be
Disgusting.
children, man or wife. And they believed that the human soul resided in the skull, so they would decapitate their human sacrifice and decorate their homes with their heads. Origin of the jack-o'-lantern, by the way.
Disgusting, disturbing. I hope we can talk about that next time. I would love to get into that.
Got to talk about it while we're here in October.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Expose the demons.
otherwise,
Yeah.
great conversation today.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all good. We have the peace and the zeal of Hamashiach. So that's the light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Amen.
Put a smile on, you guys. Low energy. I see all this low energy.
Yay, World War III, yay. Inflation, yay. The draft,
Hey,
yay.
but look at it.
Look,
Jesus is gonna come. He's gonna save us all.
remember the
We're gonna
precept.
Rain.
Remember the precept.
Remember the
Jesus
precept,
reign.
man. The gathering, man. It's gonna happen. All these signs is the sign of the time that it's in, and what the Most High is gonna do for the Israel and grafted Israel. You know, like what's up? That's what's up.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely right.
Well,
That's
great
another
guys.
episode.
That was another episode of us going off the chain, and
I'm glad to be an
Didn't-
outcast, okay?
Yeah.
Nobody's looking for us.
But
Nobody's dropping no bombs on our towns.
hopefully,
It's not so bad to be an outcast.
hopefully we don't become such a outcast after this that they kicked us out of all congregations.
Yeah, like you can't live.
We said don't talk about that.
I hope not.
We're gonna be churchless in a second.
Like that. Dang.
Yeah, good talk, guys.
All right, man. Y'all have y'all a good week.
Yes,
Shalom.
Shalom.
Peace.